How are you? Manny.
But here, when you know you're the quorum, you gotta be here to.
1872, is that when you started? Yes. Oh, yeah, considered 1872.
Yeah. First in the country to do gravel filter beds.
Filtration.
They sent people off to Germany to learn how to do it.
Well, back then Poughkeepsie was in a bad spot. Yeah, Colorado and everything else, outbreak and yep.
All through that period, all the industrial cities that had been relying on wells, they started using gravel filter beds and
Here we are.
things got much better. Oh, Aaron's in that way.
All right.
And the water tasted
I'm
bad.
filling in for Chris Gant. He was absent today, and as vice chair, I'd like to call the meeting on December 1st to order. Yeah. And first up, any public participation from our friends in the public? Hi there.
Aye.
Moving right on to approval of November 3rd minutes.
I think we have everything. I think they look fine. Didn't see any issues.
Make a motion. 7 minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Dottie, status report.
So, we are finally out of the soft front episode. Our conductivities come back to ranges where we're seeing it. So it's not the lowest that we see, but it's definitely back down to more normal levels. I finally feel like a little bit of a sense of relief. Pressure has lifted a little bit. The HAB is over as well. So we finally tested negative in the raw water. So that's
So you're able to cut back on the.
so we've now been able to cut back on our treatment process. We reduced our ozone, reduced chlorine. So we're finally back into the normal operating.
Right.
Which is really good. We've also been able to cut back on our testing as well. So we've been doing additional testing throughout this whole episode. So we've dropped that as well. As far as production goes, we've had some about 22% decrease in our volume from last month, which is great. And I do think that we see a little bit of improvement from those leaks out in the city that were addressed. So that's a good thing. I'm hoping we'll see even better results next time.
Can I ask how many leaks
There were multiple. I don't remember the it was amount. There was really one that was leaking into a catch basin, so they spent a lot of time identifying that it was leaking. So overall, our plant operation was normal last month. We are having issues with the centrifuge over at the sludge plant. It's vibrating rigorously during its cleaning mode. So our maintenance staff is currently troubleshooting and trying to see what's happening for that. And then we had a rain date. So we have to replace it.
What's the price on that?
That I don't know, but it's not a giant tank. It's just
a little tank.
It's a little.
Okay.
So it's
I've learned to be very worried about the word tank or tank replacement.
it's not the big tanks. It's a small tank.
All right, good.
It's just those additional expenses close to our, budget lines here.
Right.
So we're like every little. Yeah.
Was that chlorine day tank very old?
It is old, yes,
End of its life.
yeah, and they've determined that it really wasn't the best setup, because of the size of the tank and it's round and the connections aren't sealing correctly. And we've been lucky all these years that it's made a good seal, so they've changed to a different type of tank. That's designed a little bit differently, that has a better bladder surface. So yeah, so like I said, this month has been better. We do have a meeting on the 4th with Dutchess County, that will discuss, it's with their emergency and drought preparedness coalition, for a roundtable discussion, to help to connect all of the Dutchess County water supply operators, and talk about, public notifications and stuff, so. I'll be there.
Yep, me too.
So, and I think, administrators
Mhm.
and supervisors were invited as well, so. So we'll see.
That's good news, Robin.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Operating budget status.
So as I mentioned, we are coming close, not over for some of our lines. And we do have a chunk of invoices that are still out there. I know that. So overall, we're at 90% of the year with 80%. When you look at all of the money that's available.
What happened with the telephones?
Telephones, I'm not sure. I think I know there was an increase. Trying to keep which one are you looking at so I can double check.
It's 7408. I'm not, it's $6,000, but it's gonna be, if it's over, that's what it's costing, we should.
Yeah, to increase the line.
Yep.
I'm not sure what that amount is. I know it definitely wasn't thousands of dollars. I think we've, our system at one point we upgraded, and I'm not sure if that is included in that amount right there. Or if it's a different amount, but I can look into that and let you know.
That'd be great. And then the legal, is that from a lot of the IMA work?
Yeah, I think,
We should not have next year, I think, so.
yeah.
We're getting there,
Okay.
hopefully in January.
Yep.
So there's that. That's it. That's all I have to mention. I know, like I said, we do have a few invoices that need to be paid, but now that that resolution is done and money is moved, I am able to do so.
All right, any questions on that? No set. Okay, we're at number 5, old business. And we don't have anything else, in an engineering update.
Yeah, so, Sharon, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Would you like to share anything for our engineering update as far as where we're at with the filter project and specifically filter project?
I was gonna say last week we met, but I think now it's the week before, because last week was shortened with the holiday. So we had a very good tie and bond and Poughkeepsie water treatment facility meeting to review 90% drawings. So we've received some great comments back from the staff, and we're going to be working on finalizing the drawings. The next step is submission to the Department of Health. While it's a relatively simple project, Health Department review, typically, I don't think we could assume anything less than 2 months. So it's really important that we get it wrapped up. It will be coming back to the plant for their final review, and then we'll be making a submission to Department of Health. This month, I've been, the second half of that is funding. So I've really been reaching out to Rob Armitage, and he's gotten responsive. He actually emailed me just at the end of the week and said, I know I owed you the missing items letter. My team is drafting it this week. By the end of this week now, we're expected to have that. And so hopefully before the next meeting, you're going to get an email from me with the missing items letter. He did note that if we turn that around, that it shouldn't be lengthy, and if we turn it around ASAP, we're looking at funding in the like April timeframe. And so, given the Department of Health review, that probably all comes together really nicely from getting that project out to construction. So that's where that stands.
Thank you.
Just setting up the union negotiations count as old business or new business, or do we need to touch base on that tonight?
We briefly talked about it, but there was one other engineering topic.
Oh, sorry.
I remembered that we wanted to discuss, and that's the TSST tank. Erin, would you like to explain that, or would you?
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. I just didn't want to, I didn't know if you would, anyway, just didn't want to step on you, Dottie. So I think everyone knows there was, by a previous consultant did a study of the thickened sludge storage tank. And I think it's at minimum on the IUP listing. It's $2.9 million. Pull that open. So internal with staff, we started discussing, is there, 2.976, that's the 2025 dollars to replace that thickened sludge storage tank, which definitely is at the, it's got some concerns. We started talking about what else could we do with this tank, and there's lining products that are very reliable for maintaining the usage of the tank. So I feel like it was maybe a month and a half ago, one of the appliers met with I and Joe out at the tank and looked at it, and they've provided a quote for coating the tank, which actually comes with a 10-year warranty. So that, from $2.9 million, the cost to line it is just shy of $100,000. And we certainly are familiar with, this particular installer and this product. It's a, perfectly acceptable product and has a good reliability. So we just wanted to provide that update, but also make the recommendation the board seriously consider this alternative to replacing that tank.
That's a no-brainer on that one.
Yeah. So
Things are a little more important too.
and there's no like engineering design involved. It's, tell them to go ahead and they'll start working on the tank. It's the biggest thing is just making sure there's a, while they need to work on the tank, because they have to enter it. It's an internal coating. It's not external. So they're going to sandblast it, set up scaffolding in the tank, sandblast it. They'll maintain all their, the cleanliness of their product. Then they do the coating, and then they can put the tank back in service. So just the question is if, and then, Dottie and her staff's reviewed it. Everyone is very comfortable with this, and we're comfortable from an engineering perspective. So it's how does that fit into the budget? And that's more of I think a board discussion and how to get authorization for that. But we'll preserve the life of this tank and sort of take this off the immediate action item list.
What do you do in the interim while that tank's out of service? How do you process sludge, or what's the?
We do have a tank that we will be able to process from. We'll just change the normal procedures slightly for that.
Okay, so you don't have to bring in other pieces of equipment to maintain or to have as standby while they're going. You can still operate.
Yeah, we might need to bring in something to help suck out some of that sludge. And I think you guys have helped us before with it.
Yeah.
So, but help remove some of that from the tank. But other than that, we'll be good.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah, so then it's a matter of just figuring out how to fund it. Obviously not in the budget for next year, but.
Budget's not done yet. Add it to the budget.
Does it count as a capital expense?
I think
I do think it's a good idea to keep capital expenses in a separate column. And I know we were talking about setting aside some funds each year that were for small capital expenses that are not necessarily named in advance, but
right.
presumed to show up one way or another, right? You're not gonna make it through the year without something breaking, so maybe this could go, if we have capital set aside for next year for that purpose, this could be a good use of that fund.
Great.
I don't remember what we said in the capital plan, but
Mm-hmm.
I think we did set some sort of miscellaneous, there was a miscellaneous column, right?
Perfect. Yep, I think so.
If there is, yeah, just check and make sure it has $100,000 in it, or hopefully more.
I will
So-
look at that.
That'd be good. That'd be a good project. That's,
We did the capital
Yeah.
budget before last.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that union negotiations, if we wanna bring it up, because Rebecca. If we should go in old business, because it was a number 8 on the November meeting.
and while we're on engineering, let's do the update of the what do you call it? The RFP for the,
So the,
I guess it worked.
yeah, for the comprehensive.
That's it. I lost the word.
Yeah, so that,
The big plan, we should just call it the big.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
so from my understanding, the city finance department is looking for information from the town to see if they have funding ready to go for that. So I know they were having some talks or trying to get a hold of Banal, for that.
He was out for a week for some health issues, so if you need help, call my office.
Okay.
Because the board authorized it, the funds are there, so we can I can help work with her and my office, we can figure out where the funds are coming from.
So at that point, then we should be
We should be able to go.
next month or whatever the case
Yep.
may be, that
Yep.
goes live or whatever then. Okay.
Yep,
Which will be good because then I know that's part of the health department's
Right.
directive for us to
Good.
enter into.
Yep.
Make progress.
they make them happy too.
Okay.
And the only other thing just to mention, so the board, I know you're aware of it, just remind you that it's happening, is the currently solicitation for the liquid oxygen regular delivery service is out on the street. So those now are going to be due in January. I think January 17th sounds familiar to me. So just an FYI, that's currently that contractual relationship for that liquid oxygen delivery is out on the street right now.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you, Aaron.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
So we wanna just go over what's happening with the contract negotiations.
So I sent an email after last meeting with a copy of the contract. And then I know there was some emails back and forth about what needs to happen, but we need to reach out to the union and acknowledge that we received their request to begin negotiations. There was a couple of dates that were thrown out that would work for the union, but I think we're getting really close to those dates. So we might need to reassess and
I'll acknowledge the email tomorrow. I'll probably have our Commissioner of Finance sit in on the negotiations. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have the ability to in December, but I'll take care of it all tomorrow.
That'd be great.
great.
That'd be
Thank you very
great.
much.
And we can make myself available when needed. Just tell me what the.
I can
what the
be
plan
on
is.
them too. Don't matter if.
Yeah.
So finally, new business, 2026 meeting.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if we were gonna keep the first Mondays. I think I didn't bring it with me, but I believe I sent a draft of what the potential first Monday meetings were.
I think Mondays created a conflict more than Tuesdays did for sides. And I don't know if it's just me seeing it or if it's just the reality or if it's not.
Well, there's a fair number of Mondays that are holidays, but city council meets on Tuesday, so the
Meet on
chances of
Tuesdays, yeah.
wanting to move on Tuesday are very low.
Yeah, but if the people that attend the city council is on the water board too, or is that?
I have to.
Okay.
Jen does not, and then there's typically been a council member sitting on the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
The common council appoints one of its own to sit on the
Right.
board.
Are all the Mondays on your list? I didn't print it out.
Okay.
Are all the Mondays on that list? There's none of them are holidays, right?
None of them are holidays, no. I think there might have been one. I feel like there might have been one, but I moved it to the next.
To the following Monday, yeah. Easter is the first, I think Easter is I don't know whether we want to recognize Easter Monday or not, but I think Easter is like April the 4th or something. So I was just trying to line up our board calendar.
I'm gonna print that on. I don't think I could do this. Uh-huh. I got almost some double credit on me and
We managed not to print it.
I got more stuff here than I got big doubles and stuff.
That doesn't, I mean, I think Monday's probably. We can't do Wednesdays because we have board meetings as well.
Unless the
Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays are not going to be popular. So we've all like, there's a
Thursday.
weirdly limited.
Or make it the opposite
Here.
Tuesday of the, where it doesn't interfere with common council.
Well, I guess we just have, you were saying that, you said that the difficulty is finding out Monday morning, oh, I'm not able to make it, so we'll just have to kind of put a little email out there saying, is everybody ready for Monday? Or maybe if, when you send out packet, we could all reply and say, great, I will be there, that's all that has to happen.
Yeah.
Just please RSVP that you will be attending, and then on Friday, when you get the packet,
So if I send maybe a calendar invite that you
Right.
connect.
I think it'll be a new council member, right?
There's going to be,
Right.
the council will appoint someone new. I don't know whether or not it's going to be the new member of the common council.
Well, right. I mean, it could be, but it won't be the current
Correct.
representative to
Correct.
this committee, but they'll
Right.
pick someone else,
Right.
right? Yeah. I forgot under old business to talk about IMA. Dylan, you've been in on those meetings?
Yes, I missed a batch of them, but most of the language is kind of, I would say, tweezed out, and it's been put on my plate now to kind of go through and just give it some legalese, not like heavy legalese, but to just go through and check what's been added, check all the citations, because there's a lot of different statutes that are referenced. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just going through, making sure anything that's cited statute wise is actually still operative, cleaning up the language. And I think there might only be a couple sections left, but the real meat and potatoes of it has been gone through, and we have recommendations.
And it's, last time I saw it, a much shorter IMA because it takes out like 17 pages of stuff that was all about the initial construction of the plant and really pares it down in a way that's hopefully helpful.
Quite substantial.
We
Yeah.
do need to come back to the bylaws, and we might want to do that in January, February, because one of the things you helped us identify was the last draft of the bylaws, the operative bylaws, and there's some issues there, right? That the IMA group's sending back to the board.
Yes.
The IBMA tried to do as little as possible and identify like third-party contracts, and the bylaws are really the purview of the board, and that stuff is getting sent back. So,
Correct.
yeah. Okay.
we'll put it on the agenda for January.
And the town needs our appointments to this board before January what?
The
Or
first
does-
meeting.
Does the old board meet on January?
Oh.
Does the old of this board meet in January and the new meet in February? Or when do you need, we might have, speaking of the bylaws, right?
Because when I started 2 Januaries ago, there was no full board member here.
I think that, yeah,
I'm sorry.
we may need to appoint on December 17th, so we have the new board members. If we're making changes, we need to make those changes before the January meeting of this board. Which means not at our reorg, which is gonna happen after this, but earlier.
So our first meeting is January 5th. And I
Yep.
don't think,
And that's 2 days before our reorg, so.
And I do not remember being here unless I started in February. I don't remember being here with the past board members.
Nope.
says.
We'll try to make the appointment on 12/17, so we have new board members here for that first meeting. And that's a reorg for this board too.
Or if it makes sense moving forward for the January meeting to do it the last Monday
Right,
of the month, just so the reorgs for the city and town can be done.
right.
So,
Just for January.
yeah, just
Could
like
be.
keep it a
They
little.
give us a little more time to do it on our reorg and then have the new folks in place here. That would be 112?
No, you said the last January, but that only, did you mean the very
The
last?
first in February, we only meet once a month, right?
Yeah, because that puts us right up against the next week.
If we're moving
Yeah,
it from
that's
the,
the
if we're moving it from the first Monday to the second Monday, I think we're moving it into Martin Luther King Day holiday. So we would have to, if we can't meet 1/5 and we're meeting on a Monday, it would have to be plus 119. I don't know if we want to go that long.
Are we changing anything on our side?
No, just in terms of when we're meeting here, but we may, yeah.
Says
Sure chance to break that.
when they
I got
have.
no problems.
We just gotta get new board members all like in the place they want to be. And current board.
I think it will further, but I don't think the bylaws, at least when I'm skimming it now, it doesn't state. when
Right.
They have to be appointed by, so.
Yeah, I don't know what's it being in there, but I can take a quick look too.
Yeah,
Well, right, watch your emails because we have to do something quick before the.
I'm gonna go ahead and appoint on to, if we can, on 12/17. It's not hard on our side and we'll just try to have our new folks here. To the
Okay.
extent there's any change, we'll just, whether we're it's the same people on a new term, we'll try to have our team chosen before at 1/5 to meet on 1/5. And just for that meeting, if I remember right, in the bylaws, we discovered that the chair, not to volunteer anybody in their absence, but the chair does serve a 1-year term, but it does not have to flip back and forth between the town and the city. It can, but it doesn't have to. And whichever holds the chair, the other should hold the vice chair. But there's some flexibility there so that we don't. So some of us are still traumatized from having walked in and like, surprise, your chair, right? We just got here. So it can be done. We can do this. There's different ways to do this. And Chris could continue to serve. That would be an option. It could flip back. It could be someone else from the city. It can be however we want to do it. Just that neither the city or the town should hold both the chair and vice chair positions.
Okay,
Either way.
well, any other new business?
no, I'm done.
Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
Make a motion?
Any seconds? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Erin.
Thanksgiving, happy holidays.
Yes, everyone be safe tomorrow. I'm not sure how low the snow is going to go, but take it easy. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.